It's a ripoff.
I think I got the wrong house.
Discover Texas.
Saturdays from 6 to 8 p.m. Central. Worldwide on KZFM.org.
I want to tell you about Texas radio and the Big B.
555.
We're live as it gets right here on Discover Texas. We do this every Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m. on KZSM.org. It's true community radio out of San Marcos, Texas. And folks, guess what? I have the Ghost Wolves in the studio. What? I have the Ghost Wolves in the studio. How did that happen? Hey, guys. Thanks for coming out and doing the show. Thanks for doing the show. What's been going on in Ghost Wolves world?
A lot.
Howling and singing.
Digging dens.
Absolutely. Y'all had a show, what is it, about a week ago, I think?
We did.
Yeah.
With ABGB.
ABGB's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Well, they do live music, and they're going to be kind enough to play some songs from their brand new release, Wolf Keeper. We'll be playing some of that as well as some material from Never Die. I didn't bring any golden oldies.
Yeah.
So
We can cover the golden oldies.
awesome. So on Discover Texas, y'all, please welcome live music from the Ghost Wolves.
All right.
Live in the studio, y'all. That was the Ghost Wolves, and it is pretty good to be bad with them. I've done it before. The Ghost Wolves have made the trip to come see us in the studio and play, and it's been like a very long time since I've gotten to see them. And they play down in Austin a lot, and I'm way out here, and I keep missing it, and it's very upsetting. And if they're not doing that, they're in another country. So I'm glad we got them here together for a minute. You guys, tell me about the brand new album, Wolf Keeper. That's what's hot and happening. We've been playing some stuff off of that, and let me know what that took to get together. And it's kind of half and half, yeah?
Yeah, it's a kind of a double EP. It's a double-sided record. I mean, we have it on vinyl. So on the A side is 6 songs that we recorded at our home studio on the Tascam 388.
Nice.
We've been able to do a lot of home recording, and it's just been awesome being able to do that through the pandemic. And then tell them about the B-side, Johnny.
Oh yeah, and the B-side is a live session at our buddy's studio in Austin. So we just went in and did a day where we just played a set the whole time. We videotaped it, and we did no overdubs, just kind of like right in the the heart of it.
Smacking the kisser, man.
Man, just full throttle, wide open, no BS.
Yeah, the Ghost Wolf sound has always been real beneficial to the live aspect, in my opinion. You do some stuff with samples and stuff. Someone might listen to the thing and go, "Oh, that's a CD." No, they carry that out live, and pretty much what you hear is what you get, and it's a party, that's for sure.
That's right, and it's really cool on the B side of that live session. I played this custom guitar that has just some different elements, 2 bass strings on it, and it gave us a really heavy, cool sound.
So the top 2, I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. And what did you do? 3 more underneath, or what did like?
No, it's 4 more.
Yeah.
Underneath, yeah,
Nice.
and it's this guy in the Netherlands saw us play, and he makes guitars, Ewol guitars, EWOL. And his guitar was amazing. I was like, wow, that's an amazing guitar. That's so cool. And then after our show, he came up. He's like, hey, I want to build you a guitar.
Oh, my God.
So during the pandemic, we were back and forth, just brainstorming. And then I was like, I want it to look like a wolf head and all this stuff. And so anyways, then it showed up one day. And it does have a stereo output, or you can just split it, once it goes out. But you can go from mono to stereo to just guitar, just bass, and then you can go to like a tenor sound.
So are you able to do where you since all the strings are there, maybe send like the bass to one amp and then the guitar to another?
You can do that, yeah.
Yeah.
So
thick.
Exactly. So I almost always go through 2 amps. I'm not doing that tonight, but that just makes the sound even bigger.
And so John Michael Chef,
yeah,
is the one who worked on that, and then mastered Warren DeFever at Third Man. Mm-hmm. And I guess almost all Ghost Wolf's material. And track 7, it says, Never Die, is Faith Delphi.
Yep, she's my cousin. She lives here in San Marcos.
Oh,
yeah,
I like
shout
that.
out to Faith and her dad, Jimmy Gazik, who is also hopefully listening.
Where you at, Jimmy?
He's a San Marcos legend.
That's awesome. Looking at the map, we see you people out there. So we do have some folks out there in the area. So I'm not going to, expose you or anything, but we do appreciate you listening in today. So right before that, Never Die had come out. And
yes.
I know some of the live stuff is off of that. And you mentioned how home recording, is kind of a thing now. But most of the way people could get out and play, because you really weren't able to go do all the thing.
Yeah, it was awesome having that. And then we got John Michael Chef also to come help us mix that after we were finished recording it. So he helped with both records.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
huh?
He's a great friend of ours and so talented with audio stuff. He has his own studio in Austin where we did the live session. But it's been great collaborating with him with his audio skills.
Mad skills.
Wizardry.
There you go, the wizardry.
That's
That was
what it is.
Yeah, I was sitting there reaching for the word myself. I know it was the perfect word.
That's it.
And the season for wizardry as well.
Yes.
Tell me a bit about, we're going to hear you play some more music. Tell me a bit about this cigar box guitar you've got here.
Yes, this is a 4-string cigar box guitar I picked up when we were on tour. It's made by Wichita Sam. Got it in 2016, and it's pretty beat up, but it's still doing its job. I love this thing. It just has a really cool sound, and there's something about it that just makes you play a little bit different.
Absolutely, it's something that I've seen several folks I know that were, I guess, hotshot guitar players get off the grid and build from scratch and just go into this whole other sound.
Totally.
It
does. It just changes your rhythm and stuff.
Yeah.
Something about it.
Yeah. Do you know when you got a song idea that it's going to be one of those or one of those?
Not necessarily. And sometimes I like to challenge myself and go from the organ to the guitar to the cigar box and just, once you to the bass, just work out the song on all the different instruments and see what happens.
They change so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. They change a lot from instrument to instrument.
And I know there was a set you guys did with us on the old TV show that was definitely a adaptation of some of your music, you know? And it's like,
Yes.
I love it.
Trash can set.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, great. Let's hear some music from the Ghost Wolves. If you guys want to play some of that rock and roll for
Here's a family song.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome stuff. Ghost Wolves live on Discover Texas. Felony Lane.
Yeah.
Felony Lane. That sounds like there was some trouble, y'all. So the album you've been hearing a lot of stuff from is Wolfkeeper, and as far as that goes, I saw it on Bandcamp. There's even vinyl. Is that kind of the go-to, or where can we get Ghost Wolves stuff?
Well, our website, theghostwolves.com, we have our vinyl available there. Also, we have links to our video, the live session.
The park spread fast, they began to fall. When they put to the beach, it was the end of it all.
We videotaped the whole session, so you can watch the videos there at our website or on our YouTube channel.
Heck yeah.
Share it.
But then buy a vinyl.
Yeah, buy a vinyl so we can actually, feed the dogs.
That's great. So you have a few animals to feed.
We do.
12.
12?
Yeah.
Do they all have names?
Yes. We need to name those crows, though, lately.
Apparently crows are very smart, I've understood.
Amazing animals.
Yes. They've been coming around eating the scraps from the dog carcasses.
Probably
well,
have-
not dog carcasses, the deer
Carcasses.
carcasses that we're feeding the dogs.
The leftover carcasses from the dog's meal.
Yes.
To be clear, ladies and gentlemen,
Not a dog. We're not eating dogs.
I would be surprised at the little theme, the wolves, so... and as far as these animals go, is this something you're going to keep doing? You taking them from A to B? What's going on in the world of the animals?
Well, we're in transition with the animals. We lost my dad, who was the animal keeper of the land. So he was an animal whisperer, and he was always rescuing animals. So he passed away in May, and we've taken the responsibility on to continue caring for the animals. We've formed a 501c3 nonprofit organization around the sanctuary where we're able to collect donations, and we've also formed a relationship with the local deer processor. So she's given us all the scraps, so we can, especially during deer season, we can feed at least the dogs that. There's 7 dogs, 3 horses, and a lamb and a cat.
Oh my goodness.
So it's horses have to eat twice a day, and the lamb needs to be put away, and of course the dogs eat every day. It's a lot of work. And it was his full-time passion, and he was retired, and that's all he did.
Aww.
So we are carrying that legacy on, but we're also gonna try to transition into at least getting some help now and then, so we can go back on the road and stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's amazing. And I'm just thinking that lamb kind of feels left out, or it thinks it is another one of those other animals.
It
maybe
does.
She's hanging with the horses. That's her
Well,
thing.
and the dogs.
She actually is crazy. She goes up to the dogs like multiple times a day and just puts her face right up against their kennels and just talks to them.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and some of them are very prey-oriented animals. They would never be able to be together with the lamb.
Yeah.
But right on the other side of the fence, they've found kind of a zone of it being okay. At least she thinks it's okay.
Yeah, that's right.
The dogs kind of, it drives them crazy, but other of the dogs can be out with her, and so she thinks she's a dog.
That's great.
She even wags her tail and stuff when you go pet her.
You call her name, her tail spins.
Oh my goodness gracious.
She's adorable. But yeah, my dad, we found her. She was just a tiny little newborn running down the road, and we couldn't find her home, and my dad started bottle feeding her, and so she's about 2 years old now, but she's the youngest one of all of the animals.
The big baby.
Yes.
I bet. Awesome. Wow, well, that's great that you're doing that, and very admirable. I'm a big fan of animals. We don't deserve them. They're amazing, next level creatures.
It's true. We learn so much.
We do. Well, if we're open to. Some people don't. It's unfortunate. But I've learned. I've got a cat and a dog, and man, they school me how to live.
Yeah.
So Ghost Wolves, if you just tuned in, it is Discover Texas on KZSM.org, True Community Radio out of San Marcos, Texas. And I'm going to ask that they be so kind to play us some more music. You know some songs, you guys?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Let's do Crooked Cop.
Making homemade bombs to lick the stores on fire.
I'm thinking that probably sums up a lot of cops. That's all I'm saying.
There could be a couple.
Could be a couple. Could be a couple out in Hayes County. I don't know. Y'all listen to the Ghost Wolves. Today's Discover Texas, spotlighting my good friends in the Ghost Wolves. Thank them so much for coming out today. They've got a new album. They got one right before that. There's a lot of new tracks. They're not playing anywhere, and this is the only place you can hear them. So I'm feeling
us, Dave.
I'm feeling special, you guys. That's what I'm saying.
Exclusive. It's a Dave exclusive.
I love it. I love it. So you guys a while back did some crazy stuff with BP Fallon. If y'all don't know who BP Fallon is, go ahead and do a little Google search and catch up with us, because this dude is a genius. He's been around probably every rock star in the world, I would imagine. So
I think so.
Yeah.
He's made his rounds.
How did you get hooked up with BP Fallon? Tell us a little bit about what that was all about.
Yeah. You want to tell him about
Yeah,
the
so
radio show?
BP had a show called Wang Dang Doodle for a long time, which is such a great radio show where he just played all like underground rock and roll, garage, and then old stuff too. And we'd send him our music when we first started our band. Like, I don't even know how I heard about him, but I just thought, man, he needs to play our stuff. And so he played it, and then like a few years later, we connected through a mutual friend, and he was in Texas, and then we did a session and recorded.
That's like, it just happens like that.
It was one of those things that just like the wheels were just greased, in the universe, everything just kind of collided, and we met him and hung out
and
recorded.
He's exactly so, and that's BP is BP. It's not like an act. That's the guy. He's like eccentric. And
he's great. He's a real sweetheart, though.
Oh yeah.
But he was hanging out in Texas for like years. It seemed like he almost moved here, But
yeah, after that we did some traveling with him. We backed him up for his set at South by Southwest, and then he took us to Ireland to play at Electric Picnic, and we backed him up for his set at that festival and a couple different appearances in Ireland. It was amazing.
That's so wild.
Because he is just so fun. He's fun
great.
to hang out with.
The way he handles people, like, in the airport and on the plane and all that stuff is really funny, and like he's just got a great way with the world.
He does.
It's almost like he's like existing in a different frequency than everybody else around him, and he just sort of like makes things happen around him, which is really fascinating to watch.
It is a trip, man.
Yeah, like we ordered special meals on the plane, and we got our food, and like he didn't get any food that he could eat in economy, and he called the flight attendant over, and he's like, Madam, could you fetch me anything from the rattle your jewelry section up front? Please. And he was like so polite to this lady that she went to first class and brought him a first class meal.
Oh, that's beautiful.
We were in the back of the bus, man, and he just like all of a sudden this like fruit tray and like cheese and all this stuff like that.
He mentioned his blood sugar or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
The way he just like he was so nice to this lady, but he totally was scoring the first class. It was great.
And then when we got to the airport at Heathrow in London, he somehow got us a ride on one of those cars.
Yeah.
Just being super nice, and then we were being shuttled through the airport, and he was like riding in the front.
He travels first class, no matter what.
Yeah, just not in advance.
But it's just like a way with people that it's.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah,
I sent him.
We learned a lot hanging out with him.
Yeah, my mom and my sister were in Dublin just visiting a few years ago, and I sent BP a message. I was like, "Hey, my mom and my sister are there. Would you do a tour of Dublin?" And he graciously accepted, and my mom and my sister took like a day with BP in Dublin, which is like he knows everybody over there.
Sure.
People just see him on the street and they know who he is.
Well, there's a mural of him that was painted. We got to see when we were there. He pointed it out.
Yeah, so he was real sweet. He took, that was just going out of his way to do that. It made their visit there really special and like very memorable.
Yeah, to have that personal connection. And
I mean, you can't ask for a better tour guide of Dublin.
I would imagine. Maybe he's got another career in place.
Yeah.
I remember when I saw him with you guys, and a fan had come up to talk to him about photography and stuff, and she had him sign some of the old things he had shot through the years with various people, and wanted to pick his brain. You could tell, and he's like, BP, what can you tell me about photography? Like, what's a nugget you can give me? And he's like, what do you think the BP asks him, what do you think the most important thing that you need for photography is? And the guy was just puzzled. He's like, oh. Finally he gives up. And he's like, what? And BP's like, a camera.
That's amazing.
And I was like, man, that's the experience I think I'd want to take home
Yeah.
too. I don't know. So
He's right, though. He's really
he's
right.
very right.
He's always
You can't
right.
argue with him, man. Really, you can't argue with BP.
Oh, heck yeah, man.
It's good crap, man.
You guys feel like playing some musics?
Yes.
Yeah.
We do.
Y'all stick around. Ghost Wolf's playing live. We got October Sunday and Bear Ryan on the show next week, and we're going to play some music from them in the next set. But right now, we're going to have some live music from our guest today, the Ghost Wolves on Discover Texas.
All right. This one goes out to Uncle Jimmy.
Uncle Jim.
Floorboards over 3 feet in. Lies a small fortune buried in a coffee tin. There's a dead man leaning against a crooked oak tree. You're gonna dig up his money and hand it over to me. It's over 3 feet in. Rusty was a dealer who died too soon. Let's go digging by the light of the moon. A diamond's words just don't whisper in the air. He buried everything he had in the dirt out there. Oh, it's over 3 feet in. Lies a small fortune buried in a coffee tin. Spade, shovel, sharp, I got my crowbar in hand. And if you tell a soul, you get your head bashed in. Your eyes to the ground, watch out what you display. When we find that old tin, we'll all have to pay. Oh, it's over 3 feet in. Lies a small fortune buried in a coffee tin. I'm gonna buy me a ribbon chain. I'm gonna buy me a diamond earring.
Whoa, swamp. Awesome. I love it. Live music, you guys, on Discover Texas from the Ghost Wolves. You guys have done lots of touring, as we talked briefly about, and I mean, things get weird around home too. You got any crazy stories from the road?
Oh man, Dave, we were talking about this and thinking of all the ones that are just too crazy to tell on the air.
Right.
There are so many. I mean, it's just hard to
remember them all. The one that comes to mind for me, at least, was real early on. We were touring in a SUV, like a small SUV, and we took our giant wolf dog Winter with us on tour every time we go.
Yeah.
Well, one time we were pulling out of her dad's place, and he had a female, his sister, and her name was Polar, or is Polar. And we're driving out, and Polar's hanging out on the porch, and I look at Carly and I said, What if we took Polar too? We could have 2 dogs on the road. How much fun would that be? And her dad had 10 dogs at the time, so...
I want to interrupt just briefly, because you say dogs like they're dogs.
Yeah.
They're like
They're-
wolves.
They're like 115, 120 pound, giant white, like northern wolf, whatever, Malamute.
take up a full seat.
They take a full band member's position in a vehicle on the road and eat more and stink worse.
Yeah.
So we look at Polar and we go, yeah, that'd be fun. She's real sweet. She's kind of young, and she could use the life experience. That's good. We're going all the way to New York and like Michigan and everywhere. We're going everywhere, Midwest. And so we go to Carly's dad and we're like, how about we take Polar? And he said, yeah, that's good. But she's never been in heat, because he at the time was real country and like didn't fix his dogs, And it was okay because they lived out on the land and they had a natural life.
But he kept them separated.
And he kept them separated like a smart person would, and so like from each other. And so we said, okay, but that's okay. She probably won't while we're on the road, right?
We're only gonna be gone for.
We're gone for a month.
Yeah,
She won't do that. She's still too young, and so.
He didn't chart her cycle?
And he didn't have the app. At the time, and so we got like a week down the road or something, and she went into heat, and she was packed in with her brother. She didn't know. I mean, dogs, they have their ways, and
I hear Ted Nugent working.
dude, I hear it in the background. I hear banjo somewhere. But man, so Winter, it was really incredible in a way to see it happen. But man, those boy dogs, they just lose their minds. Like they really, if you've never been around, especially a big animal, like primal animal like that, they just lose it. Like they can't eat, they can't drink, and they just cry and cry and cry. And so somehow we
had to get her diapers. So she had like a purple diaper and a pink one that we had to use, and then we had to go. Like I would take her into the hotel where we were staying, and Johnny had to stay with Winter and sleep in the parking lot in the vehicle.
Yeah, because we couldn't have, because they would just bark and cry at each other in a hotel room. We'd be at like a Red Roof Inn or a La Quinta or something, and I'd be in the lot with the seat kicked back, and Winter would still be crying from across the parking lot at the hotel room.
It was awful.
Because he saw his sister go to the hotel room. He was just losing his mind. And so we're losing our minds because we're not sleeping, and we're playing shows every day. We're like really busy, working hard, playing gigs. And it just finally, one afternoon, we were in this green room at this place in Atlanta, and it just stopped. Like a light switch got turned off on him and her, and it was over.
But it lasted like 12 days.
Like 12 days.
It lasted. I mean,
so we're driving this little car with these 2 dogs who are trying to
time.
get at each other and are so much bigger than us, and then I just think back to her dad being like, yeah, you probably shouldn't have done that.
It was probably the majority of your tour, I'm sure.
Could have just left her, man. But yeah, that's kind of that's pretty rock and roll.
Yeah. Another one that happened that this story reminds me of. We were about to go on tour. We had it all packed up. We were about to leave, and it was nighttime. We were leaving at night for some reason. We walk outside, and Winter's looking at me, and he's squinting his eyes, and he's looking at me all weird. I'm like, why are you looking at me like that? He had gotten sprayed by a skunk right before we left. There was nothing we could do.
Wow.
So we put him in the car, and off we went, I mean,
what are you going to do?
The joys of being a little rock and roll band in an SUV, like if we had a bus, we could have just put him in the suite.
That
lock
was
the
a
door.
stinky ride. That was a stinky tour.
Rolling into towns where weed's legal, people are like, hey, so you got the skunk, huh?
Man, fit right in. Yeah, I mean, and it's really bad because I guess dogs, when they get wet, you smell it again. Because the oil stays in their fur. So anytime we go, we like to go to lakes and stuff and take him swimming, and we do that, and then he would stink again.
Oh,
Like a year later.
Is there another skunk?
Yeah.
Not again.
Oh, that's horrible.
So those are kind of family friendly stories.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh man, maybe a book for the rest. Y'all can ask the
would be
ghost.
good.
If you see the Ghost Wolves out anywhere, asking for some of them not family friendly tales.
Yeah,
they
we got
will.
a couple.
So I'm going to have these folks play some more live music for us. We're getting in about halfway through the last hour of the show, and I really appreciate the band coming to hang out with us. It's an honor to have you guys on Discover Texas. So thank you.
Pleasure to be here.
We love hanging out with you.
I'm honored to have it, and turn it up at home.
Yeah, let's do it.
They got married in a poppy field. The crows watched from the willow tree. The wind picked up and the sky got dark, dark as her heart, black as her back. She's the bride who took his breath away. Now she's the wife who makes him hold his breath for you. Getting on now for over 30 years. She's got a heart of darkness. Heart of darkness. They made their home in the Kentucky hills. There she sells it to pay the bill. And he stands by because he married a lady with a dark heart. He's been digging graves for many years. He dug him his very own, unbeknownst to him. If he doesn't watch his step, he just might forget. Yes, she'd be sad, but it won't last. She's got a heart of darkness. She killed her man. He's in the ground. She talks to his ghost. She keeps him close to her. Heart of darkness.
Woo! Heart of Darkness, huh? Ah, there you go. Ghost Wolves right here on Discover Texas, you guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you like them, check them out on the interwebs or on the band camps and all sorts of places. They do have vinyl available of Wolfkeeper. I highly recommend you do that. Do you come up with all that crazy stuff at the end? Is that like a jam between the two of you when all the tracks, you've got that stuff going on? What is that?
It's the sprinkles on top of the sundae, Dave.
Absolutely.
It's the ghost in the room.
Yeah, we do that stuff kind of live sometimes, and also just messing around, bottle of tequila, tape machine, you know, that kind of stuff happens sometimes.
I think it sounds amazing. It's a good way to seg and, you know.
Yeah, that record is that's a 64 beer mixing session.
Oh my God.
Shout out to Johnny Mike.
That's 64.
64.
Not 63.
No, 64
No,
beers.
I counted them.
That is amazing.
That's a pretty good one, yeah. Yeah.
Wow, man.
There was one other guy there too, so I mean,
3 people.
well, there were 4 people, but I didn't drink any beer.
64.
How long does it take, you know?
Yeah, you know,
It
not
took
very
2
long.
days.
Well, 2 days, but yeah. It's kind of the dream, man, you know, just set up with your friends and all the coolest gear that you can steal from their friends and then
Yeah.
drink a bunch of tequila and, like, make music.
Yeah,
What
on
more-
top of the beer.
Absolutely.
What more can you want?
Meals.
That food is good.
Food.
is good.
So I usually ask most of my guests about food, actually. So
Sure.
whichever one might have an idea first. If we were going to have you over to dinner, Jonathan,
Oh, my goodness.
what would you like for dinner?
Oh my gosh. Italian food. Like a nice, just regional Tuscan, you know, stew of some kind. And,
Nice.
and like a good
How about
bottle of
eggplant
wine.
parmesan?
Ooh, eggplant parm.
Oh, there you go.
That's one of his favorites.
That's my childhood right there.
So
Yeah.
y'all listen up. All right, Carly, what are we making you for dinner if we have you over?
Well, I'd like some grilled veggie fajitas with guacamole, some nice spicy salsa, some corn tortillas, you know, stuff like that.
I'm down. I think I'm going to steal Carly's plate. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, man. Her mom runs the best Mexican kitchen in the Hill Country.
Gotta have the beans.
In her kitchen.
Nice.
That's my favorite Mexican
It is all
restaurant.
about the beans.
The beans, the rice, the spice.
That's yeah.
That's awesome. You have some spicy music?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's Discover Texas, you guys. It's every Saturday, 6 to 8 p.m. Tune in next week for Bear Ryan and October Sunday. We do this Saturdays from 6 to 8 p.m. on kzsm.org, True Community Radio out of San Marcos, Texas. And we're going to leave it to the Ghost Wolves. They got another couple numbers for us before we call it an evening, and this is one of them.
You're holding a grudge, it's hiding your face. How long will you hold on to it? No dig in your grave, you're locked down in it. A lonely soul, full of regret. Tight in your fist, you hold on to it, so tight in your fist. You won't let bygones be bygones. You'd rather hold on, you'd rather hold on. Will you keep holding until you're dead? Will you hold on until your last breath? Tight in your fist, you hold on to it. You hold on to it. So tight in your fist, you hold on to it. So tight in your fist.
I know not like musically, but like, I don't know, something about the pace and the lyrics took me back to 80s metal. I'm just gonna say, I don't know what it was, but there was like a thing going on for sure. So thank you. That is the Ghost Whistle, you guys. We will be back with some more from them, and if you like what you hear, look them up. Bandcamp, theghostwhistle.com, Facebook, Instagram, I want to say.
Oh yeah.
Are you TikToking?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, we should.
I refuse.
Here and there.
Yeah, I'm addicted to the food and the cat and dog videos on there. The rest of that garbage is garbage. But yeah, so we have in studio guests for us tonight that I'm happy to have. One of my favorite bands, the Ghost Wolves, are in the studio. Thank you guys for coming. We that last song you played live, what you mentioned was on your Third Man release. Tell us about your experience with Third Man Records.
Yeah, they put out a 3-song EP right before the pandemic started, and so we were on tour supporting that. We got to get through the U.S. and played at the Third Man Records store, and did some other stuff in Nashville, got to hang out there, and then we went to Europe with it, and then right after that the pandemic hit, but it was really cool getting to have their support with that release.
Yeah, and the pandemic set the business world aside for everybody, so that's a struggle. I think live shows seem to finally kind of be happening, tours and stuff.
Yeah.
When we were Young Fest actually only had one date canceled. That was a monster lineup. I can't believe how they got all those bands on that bill.
They're all still around.
Yeah, right. I went to see My Chemical Romance. It was great.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Nice.
So you also went in that little booth and did a live record in there. What was that experience, right? If I'm not mistaken, that was used in 1947 to record material for people. One shot, hit play, hit record, and go.
Put your
Yeah, you
quarters
put your
in,
your coin in.
Yeah. And then a record spits out the bottom after a little while. It's really neat. And it's cool because I actually have one of those from the 40s from my grandfather. He made it in the war and mailed it back. The USO would make a similar, it was like a similar machine, and he mailed it to my grandmother. So I have one of those from, it's just kind of cool.
That's
so we were in that
cool.
booth, and I was like, this is what my grandpa did in World War II. Like, went in and made it, they would like send a little voice message, and he sang to my grandma. So
that's beautiful. My grandparents had one of those old 78 RPM recorders, so the big thick plaques.
Cool.
Yeah, so
Man.
had some of those. My grandmother had a good Bigsby on her guitar, and they'd play and sing around and
Do you
tell
have those
stories.
records?
I have cassettes of them.
Cool.
The records didn't make it.
Yeah.
So,
Good
but
thing
I
they
have
got transferred.
absolutely.
Good.
I've got a bunch of old cassettes. I've even got like my 9th birthday or something. I'm almost scared to listen to that stuff.
Yeah, make it digital before those
Yeah.
tapes
Yeah.
die, you know?
It's
Yeah.
important.
That's true.
That's great.
It's history, you know. It's
Yeah.
history telling, all of
Totally.
it. So, speaking of history telling, we're getting a little short on time tonight, so I'm going to let y'all do a little more history telling through music, I guess, if you'd be so kind. It's the Ghost Wolves.
Yeah.
They're going to play some more live music on Discover Texas. Be sure to tune in next Saturday for our guests in the studio. Will be October Sunday and Bear Ryan, and that is on November 5th at 6 p.m. Central. Check out the podcast. It's on all the usual victims, Spotify, Google, Amazon, Apple, and we'd love to hear any feedback. You can find me on Facebook and pretty much all the social media, even TikTok. Thank you, guys. It's the Ghost Wolves.
Got right here in a cold dark state. I wear a July leather. The devil never looks better.
Awesome, you guys. Thank you for listening today to Discover Texas. That was the Ghost Wolves live as it happens right here in the studio. And we're going to go ahead and close the show out tonight